Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a story of pure genius, a story of how a community with nothing but their ingenuity and spirit created one of the most incredible musical instruments the world has ever seen. This is the story of the Steelpan, the heartbeat of Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine this, it's the late 1930s in Port of Spain. The air is thick with the energy of carnival, but there's a problem. The British colonial authorities have banned traditional African drumming, fearing it could incite rebellion. The people, stripped of their primary form of musical expression, are left with a void. But you can't silence a rhythm that lives in your soul. So they improvised. They started using whatever they could find to make a beat. This was the era of the tambu bamboo bands, where different lengths of bamboo were stomped on the ground to create a percussive orchestra. It was vibrant, it was powerful, but it was just the beginning. The search for new sounds led them to metal. Biscuit tins, paint cans, dustbins, anything that could make a noise when struck was fair game. These early iron bands were loud, they were raucous, and they laid the foundation for what was to come. People started noticing that different parts of these metal objects produced different pitches. A dent here, a bump there, it changed the sound. This was the spark. The idea that you could manipulate metal to create distinct musical notes began to take hold. Now let's talk about the unsung heroes of this story. Young men from the impoverished areas of Laventille and John, often dismissed by society, were the true pioneers. They were the scientists in this makeshift laboratory of sound. They spent countless hours hammering away, experimenting under the hot Caribbean sun. One of the most legendary names from this period is Winston's Simon. As a young man, he was fascinated with the sounds he could get from a simple biscuit tin. Legend has it that while playing in an iron band, he kept denting his drum. Frustrated, he tried to hammer the dents out from the inside. In doing so, he discovered he could isolate different pitches on the surface of the metal. This was a revolutionary moment. He had stumbled upon the fundamental principle of the Steelpan, creating distinct note fields on a single surface. Around the same time, the end of World War II brought a new resource to the islands. Discarded 55-gallon oil drums left behind by the American military bases. These drums were stronger, larger, and offered a much bigger canvas for these innovators. This was the turning point. The oil drum became the crucible where the modern Steelpan was forged. Pioneers like Elie Manette, another giant in the pan world, took this to the next level. He was the first to sink the top of the oil drum into a concave shape, which allowed for more notes, better tone separation, and greater resonance. He is often called the father of the modern Steelpan for developing the configuration of notes that is still used today. He figured out the geometry, the tempering process, the tuning techniques, turning a crude oil barrel into a sophisticated chromatic instrument. Think about the sheer brilliance of this. With no formal training in acoustics or metallurgy, these men were using fire, hammers, and incredible skill to temper the steel and tune it by ear. They would heat the metal to make it more malleable, hammer out the note bubbles, and then meticulously fine-tune each one. It was and still is an art form that combines brute force with delicate precision. Each hammer blow was a step towards creating a new musical language, a voice that was uniquely Trinidadian. The sound they created was magical, almost ethereal. It was a sweet pan talking to the Caribbean skies, as the song goes. This wasn't just noise anymore. It was melody. It was harmony. As the instrument evolved, so did the bands, groups like the Invaders, led by Elie Manette, and the Casablanca Steel Orchestra became neighborhood institutions. These weren't just musical groups. They were social hubs, sources of pride for their communities. The rivalry between bands was fierce, culminating every year in the Panorama competition, a massive steel band showdown during Carnival. Imagine hundreds of musicians on stage, all playing together on these shimmering pans, creating a wall of sound so powerful it vibrates right through your chest. It's an experience that's hard to describe, a symphony of steel born from struggle and passion. The music they played wasn't just calypso. They started arranging classical pieces, jazz standards, pop songs, proving the versatility and sophistication of their creation. But the journey wasn't easy. In the early days, panmen were seen as outcasts, troublemakers. The respectable society looked down on them and their noise, fights between rival bands known as steel band. Clashes were common, further damaging their reputation. But they persevered. They poured their frustrations, their hopes, and their dreams into the music. Every note they hammered into that steel was an act of defiance, a declaration of their worth and their creativity. It was a victory call, a promise that we go rise again, we go rise above all. The steel pan became a powerful symbol of resistance and resilience, a testament to the ability of the human spirit to create beauty out of adversity. The turning point for the steel pan's global recognition came in 1951. The Trinidad All-Steel Percussion Orchestra, or TASPO, was formed to represent the country at the Festival of Britain. This was the pan's international debut. The European audiences were completely mesmerized. They had never heard anything like it. How could these dustbins produce such beautiful, complex music? The tour was a resounding success and opened the world's eyes to this incredible new instrument. From that point on, the steel pan began its journey across the globe. Today, you can find steel bands in Japan, Switzerland, the United States, all over the world, all thanks to the Trinidadians who shared their gift with humanity. The evolution didn't stop from the early ping-pong pans that carried the melody. The family of instruments grew. There are now tenor pans, double tenors, cellos, guitars, and massive bass pans made from multiple drums. Together, they form a full orchestra with an incredible tonal range, capable of playing the most intricate musical arrangements. The process of making and tuning a pan remains a highly specialized art, passed down from master to student. These tuners are the wizards behind the magic, with ears so finely tuned they can hear the slightest imperfection in pitch. So what does the steel pan represent today? It is the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, a source of immense pride. It's the sound of carnival, the sound of celebration, the sound of home. But it's more than that. It's a living monument to innovation born from necessity. It's a story of social change, of how a marginalized group created something so beautiful that it forced the world to listen. It's a symbol of how art can transform communities and give a voice to the voiceless. From the ghettos of Port of Spain to the concert halls of the world, the journey of the steel pan is a powerful reminder that genius can be found anywhere, and that the most profound creations often come from the most humble beginnings. It's the spirit of a nation, forged in fire and steel, ringing out for the whole world to hear. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the steel. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the amazing world of music. Let me know in the comments what you find most inspiring about the story of the steel pan. See you next time.